All right, what's going on? This is TK from Comic Attire and the Gulf Coast CW. We're out here at day 2 of Chattanooga Comic Con with one of the legends from Power Ranger himself, Steve Cardenas. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I'm a little bit tired from that pizza party last night. That was some pretty cool stuff.
Was a fun one. Yeah, it was good. Ming knows how to throw a party.
Oh yeah, If Ming's at Comic Con, you know you're at the right place.
Yes,
so what he always says to me.
Very true.
But yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about Power Rangers from the show going into the movies.
You mean you don't want to talk about my life before that? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, we could, man. I wanted to get into a little bit of the martial arts stuff, if that's cool. I was wondering, from show transitioning into the first movie, how awesome was it to have the upgrades first off on the suits?
Well, I mean, first of all, it all happened at once. I didn't know, when I got hired on the show,
right.
They're like, oh, by the way, we're going to shoot for a month and a half so we can get some episodes in the can, and then we're going to Australia to do a movie. And I was like, what the heck just happened with my life here? Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So, but yeah, to see the suits, the upgrade on the suits was so cool. It's honestly my favorite suit, and the movie itself was my favorite project to work on Power Rangers for sure.
That was awesome. What did you think of the upgrades on the Megazords and all that first when it happened? I mean, that was a cool change up. I mean, with the Ninjutsu suits, and then it had the Megazord change ups right there all in one. Seeing that movie when I was a kid, I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, the formula is always the same with Power Rangers. It's like the group gets together, we run into a little trouble because one of the monsters comes, then we beat up the monster when he's small size, then he grows big, so we call in the Zords. It's always the same formula, but it's fun. It works.
Throughout the show, what was favorite stunts, fighting scenes? Because I mean, they had y'all. You were one of the only ones that are from the originals. It's full on martial arts. There was a lot of gymnasts in there. And
yeah.
Mix up
I was a martial artist and a gymnast, and honestly, for me, the fight scene stuff, that was the easy part. Because I had been doing fight choreography stuff through my whole martial arts career,
Right.
Because we used to be part of the demo team for our karate school, and we would travel around and do these competitions and demonstrations and stuff, where we do these fake fight scenarios and stuff. So that part of the fight scene stuff was easy for me. What was hard was the acting stuff. The hard part for me was the acting stuff, because I'd never done any acting before. Power Rangers was my first audition. It was the first thing I ever went on. Yeah, I had no aspirations to be an actor. I just heard a commercial on the radio, and they said they were having an open casting call, whatever that was, and I just went down and tried out for it and got the part. So immediately I got thrown into the deep end, and I didn't know anything about lighting or camera angles or sets or markers or sound or nothing. Everything was all on the job training for me as far as that goes. So the fight scene stuff was easy for me, but the rest of it was what was hard.
What was one of the coolest things on when you first came in of learning? I mean, outside of the fights, was
sure.
One of the things you picked up was just that's just awesome.
Well, I mean, I think part of it was when it came to the fight scenes, I didn't realize that if you have a camera at a certain angle, you don't even need to be anywhere near somebody to look like you hit them. You know what I mean? You
right.
could be this far away from them and make it look like you hit them. So that was kind of cool. But honestly, I think the thing that was coolest for me was, just getting in on this show and everything. When I got in on it, it was the #1 kid show in the world, and we used to have people come to our set, but it was Gene Simmons, would bring his kids, or when we did the movie premiere, Jean-Claude Van Damme came to our movie premiere, and Harold Ramis and all these famous people, come
awesome.
to our come to the set of our show, because they all had kids, and they their kids wanted to see us. So I just thought it was so cool that I got to meet all these really cool people, and it's a weird life, weird life in that regard, just getting thrown into this whole thing, and it's just been great the whole time, actually. I've loved every bit of it.
After I was wondering, after the movie was finished, y'all went to Zeo, and then right before the beginning of Turbo starting up, the movie. Was that pretty awesome? I mean, were you kind of shocked when passing the mantle down, on the Zeo to the new Turbo Ranger?
At that point, it was I was actually supposed to do the whole Turbo movie and the Turbo season, and then I was going to leave in space. Yeah, but I chose to leave the show early, so they needed to find a way to sort of write my character out. So that's when they came up with the idea of replacing me with like a kid, because I figure it's
That
every
was like
kid's
the
dream to be a
coolest
Power Ranger,
handing down, like passing the torch
Yeah.
ever.
Mhm.
I mean, because it wasn't another teenager, y'all. It wasn't someone else coming in. It was just,
Yeah.
like you said, the guy was a kid.
Yeah. I thought, I feel like they thought it was a good idea, and I was fine with it because I was leaving anyway, But in hindsight, I kind of wish that I would have stuck it out and did that last season. I just never knew that after the show was over, that it would still have this longevity and that people would still be, part of it. Like,
Yeah,
still
how crazy
love
is
it.
that?
And,
Like everybody's the biggest fans 30 years
yeah,
later.
I know, it's
That's-
crazy, I mean, and also the difference too is, back in the day, all the kids were, all the people that were our fans were little, and they were, too young or too shy to articulate to us, how much the show meant to them and stuff. But now I get to do all these events, all these Comic-Con events, and, everybody's grown up now, and they're like, dude, you were such a part of my childhood. And, I just, to hear those kind of stories is good, because it's not just that, but it's like people come up and say, hey, I became this because I watched Power Rangers. I became a martial artist because of it. I became a fireman because of this. Or I became, whatever. Like, we
That's
inspired
awesome.
them to kind of want to, do things in their life and take their career in the direction it went, So I feel nice about that,
Is that one of the best things you like whenever you're at shows like this, events?
Yeah. I mean, people come up, they say things like, hey, like I had like a really rough childhood growing up, and, the 30 minutes I could see your show every day was such a nice escape, and for people to come up and say that and to be able to say how much that meant to them and stuff, that means so much to me. I'm like, hey, I'm really happy to be a part of all that,
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, I can't keep you out here all day.
No problem.
The
Yes,
doors are
we've
about
got
to open.
people to
There's
see. The
fans
doors are gonna
behind.
open.
So
Yes, droves and droves of fans coming up. Yeah. So
I did want to ask before hopping off here where fans can find you on social media or what upcoming events you might have for the rest of the year.
Well, if you go to Steve Cardenas PR, PR for Power Ranger.
Okay.
If you go to Steve Cardenas PR, that's where you'll find or I'm always posting all my stuff. Instagram's pretty much all that I use. I have Facebook, but I never really use it, and I don't use Twitter, so I have Instagram.
All right,
So
cool,
if you
cool.
follow me on Insta, I'm posting every week about all the different places I go to. So hopefully
so
I'll
awesome.
see you there.
Well, make sure to check out this event. Last day. Get out here, meet some of your favorite heroes, favorite Power Rangers, and we will see you in the multiverse. Gotta run.